Hey, what's up, guys? This is Gabriel Lemaine here at New York Comic Con Special Edition, and I'm here with
Drew Crowder.
Drew Crowder. Here is the proprietor.
Sure, I'm the publisher and creator, head honcho, chief cook, and bottle washer at Hashtag Comics.
So, given all this artwork, how is the bottle washing business?
It's okay. It's okay. We actually have at Hashtag Comics. We have a lot of really talented artists that work with us. We're about 35 strong right now. We have about a dozen writers that help out with the stories, and a bunch of really talented artists.
What are the main lines that you have to offer at Hashtag Comics?
Well, currently we have 2 titles that are out in stores. We have our kids book, Tailwinds, and then we also have our not so kids book, which is called Carpe Noctem.
So, are you saying that Cthulhu really isn't all that kid friendly? We can't share our joy with children with the joys of growing badness as we.
Right. Well, essentially, we have in Carpe Noctem, we follow the lives of the Rivera brothers, which are Jason Dante. They are the 2 sort of ancient vampires that helped create Las Vegas, and the Coven of Monsters that is currently sort of their ruling class with, the Goblin King that runs the drug trade. And one of our main characters is actually dating Cthulhu's daughter. And so there's a lot of hijinks and whatnot that go on.
So tell us a little bit about the kids-friendly fare. I see that it has a lot of more of a Ralph Bakshi animated mouse kind of vibe.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And our artist on it, her name's Morgan Ray Myers. Amazingly talented. I got her at a very young age to start working for us at Hashtag Comics. Her art is fantastic. It's sort of that 2D Disney Don Bluth style.
Yes.
Very, very cool, very fun, childish. It's Tailwinds. It's a magical steampunk fantasy set in a woodland realm. So, spoiler alert, it might actually be set in Central Park, New York. So you New York fans, Central Park, you can walk around and see a little bit of the imagery in some of the depictions of what we write about and what we draw about. Okay. It's very cool. And it follows the life of Kaya. She's this young mouse. She absolutely loves cheese soup. It's her favorite thing of all time. And she becomes imbued with magic, the magic of the forest. And then she gets taught how to use the magic. And the first 3 books of the series are actually called Kaya's Journey Begins. That's the name of the story arc. And within that, we learn all about Kaya and the world that she lives in called Silmay and what kind of magic goes on. And then we meet some bad guys in book 2, which comes out on shelves next month.
Where can people find? Can people also find your books digitally?
Well, digitally we are on Comixology. Our children's books are actually being distributed by Follett right now. So we will actually be in schools and libraries coming this fall. And then digitally we're on Comixology. We're in a bunch of stores digitally, but they also buy our books otherwise. And then we have distribution through Diamond. So you can go to any comic book shop and order our books, and they'll ship it right to you.
Given that a lot of people are on the kind of Kickstarter train, has any of that been in Hashtag Comics?
No. Maybe if any of our series just start to sell less, we'll go that route. But right now, our comics are all financed, so we don't have to do the Kickstarter. We might, just for maybe if we decide to do sort of an offshoot, or so if we want to do something where we want to gauge the audience's reaction first, we'll go with that. But for now, we're going to the company. Our parent company is financing everything.
Okay, that's really wonderful to hear. So how has it been a real change for you? You initially started as a writer?
Yeah, I was in the film industry as a financier, and then I was starting to write some new projects and helping with the packaging for the Hollywood films to be able to get their money. Okay. And I've always been a writer and always artistically inclined. And after I sat in on a bunch of panels during the New York Comic Con in 2013, they said, "You can probably make comics." And I said, "Yeah, I probably can." So I decided to go ahead and go into the comic book industry. I created all the stories that we have, and then I've hired writers and artists to go ahead and fill in the blanks and really do the hard stuff. Flesh in the stories, do the art. It's all worked out really, really well. Everybody seems to be very happy.
How is Are a lot of the pressures similar to the film industry with regard to how do you get your financiers and how very often the structure of the business is done?
Yeah, and I think coming from a business background, all the way through university, I run a fairly large company outside of comics, so I think that helped really bring the business end first.
Yes.
And then the creative end was layered in throughout that.
That's the thing that I've kind of come to see in a lot of the interviews that I've done, where a lot of what I've come to be interested in is a lot of the business with regard to just like seeing these ideas grow and not joining the litany of people who've had their ideas kind of taken out from under them.
Right. Well, I think if you're going to be in business, you need to be business minded. And if you are too creatively focused and you're just art, you're going to miss out on actually getting to the next level, because you have to be business minded. You have to protect your IP. You've got to copyright everything. You've got to make sure that you have contracts in place that are ironclad when you're bringing on artists and writers and that kind of thing, especially from a publisher's perspective.
Also, contracts that don't end up giving like the other types of rights that are able to make the greatest amount of profit from most comic properties.
Sure, you don't want to give away any film rights. You don't want to give away any option rights. It's very important to emphasize the business aspect of things to creators when they come up, because sometimes they'll only want to just make sure that people see what they have to offer. They want people to see their book. They want people to have their book in their hands because that's their ultimate goal. And if you want to do that, you should have another job outside of your art, because sure, everybody can have your thing, but if you don't have it business minded, if you don't have it copyrighted, if you don't have it trademarked, if it's not in a book with a copyright, with a collaborative effort of people, you're not going to make money on it. And you can only survive so long as a starving artist before you just have to give up and try something else. So if you want to really make it, you've got to go business first and creative second.
Also, secondarily, I have to talk with one big disappointment that I have.
Oh no!
I was hoping that hashtag comics would all be about comics based on just Twitter beef. just comic renditions of the greatest Twitter wars that ever happened.
That would be hilarious. Hashtag Comics was an offshoot of Hashtag Studios, which was all, we have 10 podcasts, we have some original YouTube series. It was all internet based, so we were digital media. And when I was coming up with names of things, I said, oh, hashtag sounds like a good thing. Because people started saying hashtag in real life.
Yeah.
Hashtag just saying. I actually say that with the word hashtag.
Unironically?
Yes.
You gotta think about it.
Yes, unironically, I say that. And I know a lot of people do it. And, even Jimmy Fallon has, the hashtag things that he does. And so, it just seemed logical. When I was seeing all these things that say hashtag comics, I said, hey, now they're talking about me. So,
do you have any backup names just in case Twitter ever falls into out of favor?
No. Although when our books launch into schools, we should have a little bit more capital to play with, and so I'm thinking about opening up a line of comic book shops called Dot Comics. So,
will they go bust?
No. They're going to be amazing.
Forever?
Forever. Forever, Smalls.
Thanks, man. You've been really a great friend.
Thank you so much.
This is E/ from Outerhaven.net. Signing off.